All right. So welcome back. Let's talk about this man. What's his name again? What's his name? His name is Iwuanyanwu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Excuse me if I'm not. But Chief Iwuanyanwu, late Chief Iwuanyanwu. But I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly, because the lesson here is gonna be pretty quick. You know, the lesson might not be what you think. I don't know what else has been said out there with regards to them, but I caught a little bit of their story. He passed on not too long ago, and then there's a will. Okay, but let me read this report on the Vanguard. The Vanguard says 1 year after his demise, the last will and testament of the late elder statesman and former President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, has been read to the family. Iwuanyanwu and his first wife, Lady Idora Nena Ozinyereaku Iwuanyanwu, were married for over 40 years until her passing on August 28, 2011. So that's his first wife. I think they might have like 4 children together, something like that. I don't know. But they have grown children, as you can imagine. In 2013, the late businessman and politician at 72 married 26-year-old Francis Chinonyerem Ewerem. He died on July 25, 2024. That's about a year ago, at the age of 82. Okay, all right. On June 16, 2025, Iwuanyanwu's will was made public. The will, announced by Chief Chukwuma Ekomaru SAN, detailed how the revered businessman estate will be shared among his immediate family and chosen beneficiary. All right, excuse me 1 second, guys. Hey, Chinye, good to see you, Chinye. All right. Among the notable provisions is the bequest of the iconic Legacy House on Port Harcourt Road, Owerri, to Frances. However, she is expressly, there's other things that she also got too. I think she got a company, some kind of company that used to be led by the ex-late wife, and a host of other things. But I guess the main one is this Legacy House that Vanguard is reporting. But, however means but, she is expressly forbidden from selling the property. Okay, there's more. Alongside the residence, she also inherits ownership of Magill Furniture, business previously run by Iwuanyanwu's late first wife, Idora, as well as partial stakes in real estate assets located in Orji, Works Layout, and Naze, all in Imo State. The will stipulates that should Frances choose to remarry, I think now she would be, if that was 2013, she got married at the age of 26 years old. 2013 will be plus 12 years, so she should be about what? 37 years old now, 38? 2013. What year are we in? Okay, plus 12. Okay, maybe about 38 years old. Anyway, if she should remarry, what happens if she remarries? She will automatically forfeit all these inheritances. The couple's son is granted ownership of the family's Abuja residence. Meanwhile, the London property is to be sold, with the proceeds distributed as follows: 60% of the education, 60% for the education of Iwuanyanwu's youngest son. I think that's the son that she has for him. 30% to his first son, and 10% to Ezine, the current occupant, to support her relocation. Oh wow. Iwuanyanwu directed that the glass house near the Owerri flyover be transformed into a public trust. An independent board will oversee the property's use for charitable and community-focused initiatives. Other valuable assets spread across Abuja, Imo, and other locations in Nigeria have been equitably allocated among Iwuanyanwu's 5 children. So as you can imagine, the main part of this story is the restrictions around the inheritance that the ex or the widow, Chief Iwuanyawu's widow, she has to deal with right now. She cannot remarry. If she remarries, she will automatically forfeit all of this inheritance. All right. So now, with that being said, was he being fair? Okay, that's the question. Was Chief Iwuanyanwu, was he being fair? A lot of people have a lot of things to say about this. I'm going to come to the chat in a second, but let me set up this poll. If you are part of the 36% that haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button right now. Okay, so was okay, late Chief Iwuanyanwu being fair? Yeah, so I set that poll up right now, so let me see what you guys are saying about that. But let me come to the chat. Let's see what's going on, if there's anything. Was he being fair? Do you think that's fair? She was 26 years old, he was 72 years old. 26 to 72, that's like 40 plus 45 years difference. That's a lot of difference, right? Toby and Tribe, how you doing, Toby and Tribe? She said she can just have a boyfriend, right? So with that being said, do you think that's being fair? Is it fair? Is it fair enough? I mean, after all, she can just have a boyfriend for the rest of her life. If she lives up to 82, the age where the man passed on, she has to deal with just boyfriends for the next 40 plus years, right? Is that fair? Fair enough, maybe. Yes. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the poll. Anybody voting? Let me see. Okay, some people are voting, I guess. Okay, 60% says fair. Okay, 40% say not fair. So if you said not fair, can you please give me some explanation to why you think it's not fair? Fair enough. You know, I mean, a good explanation would be she can just have boyfriends. She has all this properties, fortune, wealth, a whole business. I mean, she gets to inherit the business of the previous wife, the late wife that passed on, right? So everything in life comes at a cost. Yes, even for you ladies, right? So the cost now is that she's not allowed to have any other husband. Somebody said, but if he was able to inherit from his wife, what do you mean? He inherited from his wife? It was the man. What do you mean? He was able to inherit from his wife the business. How come she can't just inherit? And he was able to remarry. How come he couldn't inherit? You know what I think? I think something happened. He knows something that the rest of us don't know. Because generally speaking, yeah, I feel like he minded. There are men that can do that, of course. There are men that will absolutely do that. But I think he saw something before he died. He saw something and he determined in his heart that, okay, you will never be free for as long as you want to eat my money. My money, not our money. Okay, our money under one condition. Under one condition. Toby and Tribe says he wants his wealth to stay in his family. Yes. We can consider that a traditional something, right? Yeah, so is she allowed to have kids from other men? That's a good question. That could be a loophole she can explore, right? I heard that Ojukwu did the same thing with Bianca Ojukwu. That's what I heard. But I don't know. Listen, man. Some people might say, well, that's misogynistic. Okay? Chauvinist behavior. Patriarchy. Okay, all right. It's the reality. But I think wanting to keep the fortune in the family, based on the culture, with respect to the culture, I think that can be respected. I think we can respect that. It is what it is. Because guess what? She went and married this 72-year-old man. What about that part? Everything comes at a cost. You know, she knew what she was doing at 26 when she married a 72-year-old man and had a baby for the man. You don't think she knew what she was doing? So is this the point where I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? I don't, because she just inherited a bunch of properties. I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry. It's not fair. She say it's not fair. She only has a child and might want to create a family and have more children. Like she can explore that loophole, right? Talk to a lawyer. See, does the will say I can't have children? Can I have children? I can't marry. I cannot marry. But in the traditional land of Igbo land, or maybe Africans in general, once Yoruba people say any bimo funi kuro lali eni. That means if you have a child for a person, you're no longer considered just a concubine. You're by default now considered one of the wives. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but generally speaking, can that mess with that stipulation? Can she possibly forfeit everything? Abi, what do you think about the idea of hiding the baby too from the public? Ugh, Lord have mercy. Bottom line is that there's a certain level of freedom she no longer has, as long as she wants to enjoy those inheritance. And Mario says it's not unfair. Double negative. May God help you. It's not unfair. She is being cared for. Her child are cared for. Okay. So she's saying it's fair, right? She says, especially if she's a Christian. Wait, the Chinye one, I didn't finish reading it. She said it's not fair. She only, okay, we're already right there. Okay. She says, especially if she's a Christian and believe in creating a family with or not. She's a Christian and she married a 72-year-old man at that age. I mean, there's no rules against it. You're right. But Betty, Chinye, I'm not with you on this one. Sorry.
Got him! Got him!
Sorry, Chi. Sorry. I'm not with you. She's a Christian. She wants to know. There's a disconnect somewhere. I don't know how to put it into words. There's a disconnect somewhere. I felt like regardless of his riches, she was his wife until his death. Why place such a clause in her? I'm thinking he knows something that we don't all know. Because he could have simply said if he wants to be all the way traditional, like the baby could inherit everything, and then the mother is taken care of or something. I don't know, but that restriction tells me there's something that we don't know. Is it fair? Ultimately, I still think it's fair because she knew what she was doing when she went and married a 72-year-old man. I think that's a stretch. Once somebody is breaking certain unwritten rules like that, anything goes. We don't have any rules, any kind of guide here. Like, I don't know. What do you want me to say? So I think there's something, that we will probably not know because he probably took it to his grave, Abby says she should choose her peace of mind and leave everything behind.
You doing what?
Oh God. Oh Lord have mercy. She has options. Marriott says she has. MOP, that was my thought also. I have a feeling something happened which made him apply the will that way. Yeah, something happened, but he was like, kakaki. How do they say this? I'm looking. There's a proverb, Yoruba proverb that's coming to me right now, but it's something about sese mafi shawadan. Kakaki adieda milogun. Adieda milogun ma foleyin, something like that. Obi kakaki ma sese ewadan. If you know Yoruba, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. Just help me. Okay. Imagine me on Masoyibo. The way you said that, Shaola, I forgot what I said. Let me see. I don't think so. Mario said, I don't think so. Ganifa and me had the same clause for his mistress. Our own Ganifa were in me. Really? Rich, educated men do this now. Okay, you're talking about the traditional thing? Okay, maybe. It doesn't mean he suspected her of anything. I don't know. So it could just be a clause like, hey, let me pin you down. Now, that would be patriarchy at its best. Misogynist, chauvinist. Help me now. I can't use those words. Pin her down for the next 50 years. or 60 years, if she's still alive, she's mine. Okay? You know, traditionally speaking, his children can actually inherit the young wife or his younger brother. That's some of the things that they did in Yoruba land, at least. They can be inherited. I've seen this in my own family. So Chia says, consequence of wanted to marry someone who is old enough to be your grandfather because you want to go and chop money. You know, in 2013 can be passed as a modern age now. So if she's breaking unwritten rules, there are going to be unwritten consequences that unfortunately she cannot be protected from, you know. Would the kids allow her explore? I don't know. Some of them might be modern, might be like, don't worry, don't make any noise out. Maybe the kids are modern enough, you know. Abby says, I'm not sure a woman that contributed enough towards his wealth would have been given such a stringent clause. That's another angle. I doubt it too. But in the last 10 years, they were together for about 11 years. I think that's significant enough in a person's life, because the way the story is being told right now is like she married him yesterday. No, 11 years in somebody's life is significant. So, but I agree with you at the same time. If this was because men would tend to measure it from the beginning of their life, the beginning of their adulthood. So he might be thinking particularly in that direction. Yeah, chop my money till you buy there. Not financially, maybe just value. It's not ideal, but not unfair. Yes, I don't use the word unfair here. If you know me well enough, you've been listening long enough, we don't do when it comes to love and war, all is already fair. It is what it is. When we're fighting for societal cause, equality for women, right? In terms of workplace equality, equal opportunities, yes, fairness should come in. But when it comes to this matter of kwekus and no, and the plick, no, it's already fair. Make sure that you get the help you need in terms of how to educate yourself, how to navigate this thing, because in love and war, all is fair. All right, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to come out to the internet and cry to us how unfair it's been. I'm not even arguing with you. I'm just looking at you like, can you tell me more? Anyway, she's a Christian. Did she marry for love or greed? Ha! That one a jam question. Who go answer? I think only Baba can answer that question. And it's gone. Rest in peace to Chief Iwuanyanwu. There's no commandment against covetousness in the Bible. We don't know. We have to declare covetousness first now, Marriott. How do we have to declare covetousness first before we say there's commandment against it? We don't know if it's covetousness. That's why I call it unwritten rule. There's no rule against marrying a person that's 50 years older now. Even if you want to consider morals, I know many of you like all this PDF behavior, blah blah blah. I beg, she was an adult. She's 26 years old. Me and you can sit here and say yes, we find it disgusting. That's me and you's opinion. At the end of the day, there's no rules against it. Why did she want her mom's bestie husband? What if I'm saying what I'm saying? She says what I'm saying is, if she doesn't want to have sex out of wedlock and wants the honorable family as opposed of having children outside of marriage. She
You they use your function to play.
I don't know, Chie. I don't know. I'm tired. We have some other stories to get to. Let me finish this. I'm telling you. Ma following at the Edam logo, ma following Kakakin, there's Kakakin, Kinikon, Sese, Mafi Shawadanoni, something like that. That one I'm missing. If anyone is looking for the perfect will, take a look at Gani's will. It was beautiful. Please, if you have a link to it, send it to me, Joe. I'd like to take a look at that. That'll be a good case study. You know what? F all this, Chinye said. F all this property. I want to be free. Let me forget this property and go marry. Yeah, right. Where's Uncle Kidola when I need him? Where is he when I need him? I beg. inherit wife ke to fiakwa. It happened to my great aunt. In fact, she just passed away. She was my not great aunt. Well, she was, let me tell you, very funny, interesting story. She's my aunt on my father's side. Okay. But she's my stepmother on my mother's side. Yes. I've told you guys before. Our family house, my father and my mother is like 2 houses apart in our village, right? So they kind of know each other. In fact, it became a point of contention when my father was about to marry my mother. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, was against it a little bit because he was like, I don't want to bashikpa Romo, because his second wife, is my father's cousin. Are you shocked? I'm here 45 years later.
He shock you.
It's okay. Drink water. Anyway, now that my father's cousin was inherited by my mother's uncle, but let's not worry about that. Let's just keep it moving, okay? She said I go remain single for life than being inherited. Though. I know exactly what you mean by inherit wife. Now on that but one shoe on lokpori ni. It's a real thing in Yoruba land, though. Marrying the Baba must have been influenced also. Remember, she's the daughter to the friend of the late wife. Of course. You know, so there's probably a lot more to it than we can see. Let's just in love and war, all is fair. Whatever point of contention you have about this story is interesting. Is she trapped forever? Not necessarily. She should explore the having babies for other men. Maybe call it artificial insemination or something, surrogacy or something. Shout out to Ife. We're gonna bring Ife into the story in a minute. Something, she can call it something, you know. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let me know what you think about this one. Let's move on into Two-Face. Yes, for a specific reason, I want to address Two-Face first before we go into Ife and Iton. All right. But stay tuned. I will be right back. There you go.
Girl, it's your love that I've